from the Timber TV studios, this is Timber Talk. Here is Brady Goldman and Sawyer Regan.
Hello and welcome back to the show you can always count on for Walpole High sports news. I'm Brady Goldman.
And I'm Sawyer Regan.
Last week we had close games in hockey and some dramatic finishes in the final games at the old gymnasium, so let's start with hockey. Boys hockey had one game last week, which took place on Wednesday. Walpole came into this one with a 4-3 record and were trying to beat a very tough 5-3 Weymouth team. Aiden Hoyle scored in the second, but the Wildcats would then shortly tie it up. Luckily, with just 3 minutes remaining, senior Landon Lipset scored and put Walpole up 2-1. However, the game from there would fall right out of the Timberwolves' hands, with the Cats scoring again with just a minute left and then eventually winning in overtime 3-2. Despite this, the team stayed inside the top 16 and currently rank at number 12 with about a month left to go before the postseason. The Timberwolves will host Needham on Wednesday and then travel to Newton North on Saturday to do battle with the Tigers.
Girls hockey had two matchups last week. On Wednesday, they traveled to Weymouth to also take on the Wildcats. Ella Dacey scored quickly in the first, but the Wildcats would score two unanswered goals. However, in the third, senior Nora Kelly would score for Walpole, which would force overtime. After intense play from both squads, nobody could score in OT, which ended the game in a 2-2 tie. Then on Saturday, the team would hit the road again to take on the Whitman-Hanson Silver Lake Panthers. However, Walpole had no issue with the team with two schools in their name and downed them 6-0 with 2 goals each from Maddie Falcione, Kaylee Walsh, and 1 goal each from Kate Schneider and Nora Kelly. The girls end the week with a tie and a massive victory on the road and currently sit at 4-4-2. The Lady Tims are currently ranked number 23rd in Division II with a very tough schedule. Looking ahead, the girls will travel to Needham on Wednesday before hosting the Tigers at home on Saturday.
Boys basketball, after having a rough week, were back in action with 2 games. Sitting at 5-3, they had a very tough matchup against North High School. The Timberwolves would start the second quarter down by 5, but would take a 6-point lead going into the half with an impressive 11-point turnaround. The boys had a 10-point lead in the fourth, but the Polar Bears slowly crawled back into this one, making it a 2-point game with under 2 minutes to go. However, unlikely hero Thomas Jolly, who came off the bench in this one, hit a huge 3 late to put the team up 5 and eventually propel them to a 56-50 victory. Ryan McDonald again had an impressive performance, putting up 26, with Shane Harrington also being the next closest scorer, dropping 10. Walpole had a short rest but had to play winless Weymouth the following day. However, the team certainly was not tired in this one, as they put up 101 points, the most they've scored in a single game in many, many years. Weymouth scored 70 points, so they were never really a threat to the Timberwolves. Walpole did exactly what they needed to do last week. They win both games and move to 7-3 on the season. The team currently ranks number 16 in the latest power rankings. And with that, we can finally proudly say that our very first game of the new fieldhouse is this Thursday against Norwood. These teams played last year with the Mustangs getting the better of Walpole 51-38, but these teams have had quite the opposite trajectory this year. Walpole has ascended and Norwood has descended and have already lost more games than they did last year, currently sitting at 3-8. The atmosphere will be absolutely electric with the first game of the new gym. It will be a 6:30 start time, which is a bit tentative as it will be a doubleheader with the girls team, so make sure to come down to the opening of our brand new facility. The boys will also play Newton North Friday night on the road.
Switching to the girls, the team also blew out Weymouth on Tuesday 70-48. That brought them to 6-2 and were then set to face the 6-2 Womps Friday night, with the winner obtaining sole possession of second place in the Herget division. Fortunately, this game was a Bella Bingham masterclass. She put up 30 points and scored over half the points for her team. Walpole dominated each quarter and were up by as many as 16 in the fourth quarter. Despite a late comeback from the Womps, the girls shook them off, winning 55-46 with a statement victory at home. On top of Bella Bingham's impressive performance, Abby McMahon notched 10 points and played well defensively before fouling out in the fourth quarter. Walpole would also take on top-ranked Bishop Feehan on Monday, and despite a close contest, Feehan took the lead in the final minute and beat the Timberwolves 50-48. These three results bring Walpole to 7-2 with much tougher competition on the rise in the second half of their season. Walpole currently is number 7 in the latest Division II power rankings. That will also bring us to Thursday night, where the girls will also do battle with the Mustangs. This team is much better than their male counterparts and are currently 8-1. Walpole lost 39-57 last year, so they will try to open up their first game in the Fieldhouse with a big win. The game will start at 5:15, so make sure to clear your calendars and attend the first ever basketball game inside the Fieldhouse. Walpole will also play Newton North on Friday late night at home. Last Thursday, Walpole Track beat Weymouth by a score of 68-32. This continues the Timberwolves' search for an undefeated dual meet season as they look to Milton at the Reggie Lewis Center on Thursday. On Saturday, the boys went to the Division III relay meet, in which they won, bringing home a trophy to the school. The team was able to score in every single event in that meet, as well as winning the shuttle hurdles and 4x200 meter relay.
And with that, that's going to do it for our show this week. I'm Brady Goldman.
And I'm Sawyer Reed.
So long from the Timber TV studios. We'll see you next week for more recaps on Walpole High School sports.